Hi everyone, it's Shamila Ramjawan from the Red Corner Show. My guest today is Angelique Patha, who's also known as Angel. And we're going to be chatting to her, this gorgeous woman on the other side who is an advocate. She has a day job, yes. She's also in the community schemes Ombud's Conciliator. She's going to tell us all about that as well. She's a fashion and lifestyle blogger, a reality star, the Single Wives SA, and that sounds very interesting. We're going to hear about that as well. Okay. And also an MBA grad studying towards her PhD. So we're going to get chatting. Hello, Angel. How are you?
Hi there. I'm good, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I know you have
Thank
such
you so much.
life.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so awesome. I'm so glad I'm here with you.
We want to get to know a little bit about you. You know, I read your bio, I've seen you on social media, but I think a lot of people out there want to get to know who is this person in this reality show as well. So maybe take us through who is Angel Patha, your career, where you come from, your passions, your upbringing, whatever you want to tell us and share.
Oh my gosh, that is such a lot. Okay, first of all, who is Angel? Firstly, I'm a mom. I have two beautiful kids. My daughter's 17 and my son is now 12. He's going to be 13 next month. Totally freaks me out. He's such a mommy's boy. So I think I'm more scared of him getting older than he's scared of getting older. So that is like my main focus in life is my kids. And then my day job is I work as a conciliator at the community schemes Ombud. So basically my day consists of listening to everybody's problems and then telling them what to do. How awesome is that? Like, I have the best job ever. So I really, really love my day job. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love problem solving. So it really inspires me and it forces me to think and forces me to be creative and get into another kind of more serious space. The other space that I'm in is in blogging, influencing. And for me, that is more about fashion because I love fashion. I love dressing up and going places. Now, not so much, but it's part of what I love doing. And so I'm so blessed and so grateful that I'm able to do both the things that I really, really love. And I have like this phenomenal day job. And then I have this even better evening job, which is, you know, it's so great. So I'm honestly living my best life out here.
Well, I can tell, you know, looking at your social media and the way you carry yourself and the image that you portray, and just being out there with the real fashion. Yes, I can tell that you're living your best life.
I am, you know, and it's just that when you love what you do, you wake up every day with such a grateful heart. And you have such peace in everything you do. And everything you do, you want to do it to the best of your ability, just because you love it so much, you know? So that's why I said, like, I just really feel so blessed and so lucky that I'm given this opportunity to explore both my passion and interests at the same time, you know, and be in this space. So that is basically what I do. I also started in this reality series called Single Wives SA. So the reality series, oh my gosh.
Okay, we'll get to that now, Angel. Okay. I just have so many questions to ask you before we get to that, because that's going to be very interesting for all of us. But just born in Durban, moving to Cape Town to study, and then moving to Johannesburg. So you've touched the three biggest provinces in South Africa. Take me through that journey.
I moved such a lot. So my mom was a single parent. My parents weren't married. So as unmarried parents go, you end up staying with your grandparents. So I was raised by my father's parents, my paternal grandparents in Asheville in Durban. And I stayed with them from the time I was born till about 8 years old. And from there, my mother then got back on her feet and she had remarried. And then obviously she came to fetch her child now. And she's like, I want my child back. And she was based in Cape Town. So that's how I ended up going to Cape Town. And I stayed there. And I went to St. Agnes Convent School for Girls in Cape Town, and I finished my primary school there. And once I finished primary school, things got a bit difficult for my mom. And my mom was a seamstress. She used to work in a clothing factory, and she had lost her job. And now she had me that was going to high school. So it was a really tough decision for her to make. But then she sent me to Eastern Cape, where I went to Union High School. It's a boarding school. However, because she couldn't afford the boarding school fees, I stayed with some friends over there who I'm so blessed to have taken me in. And I stayed there until I was in matric. And then when I finished matric, I went back to Durban, and I studied at a college there, and I did my IT. This college was affiliated with ML Sultan. So it was like, it was outside of the campus, but it was still, I don't know if you know what I'm saying. It was accredited by ML Sultan,
okay.
but it was a college that was outside the campus. So some of our lectures were there, and some of our lectures were, at another building. And I studied IT there. And and then after I studied IT, I got married, and then I moved to Joburg. And I've been here ever since.
Wonderful. So are you still married?
No, I'm divorced.
Okay, just checking.
Very happily divorced.
Okay, and you have 2 teen kids, you said, 17 and 12. That must be challenging, especially with COVID. How did you cope? I know, okay, let's just take a step back. COVID-19 has affected all of us, but in your case, an influencer, lifestyle blogger, being out there, launches, events, etc., how did you manage through COVID-19 and the lockdown?
I had withdrawal symptoms, I must admit, because there was no events happening during COVID. I'm such a people person. Like, I love talking, I love meeting new people, I love being, out there and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden I am confined to the space of my home with my kids. And it was very, very difficult. But what we did is we had like this whole routine that we did together, and that really helped us. Having a routine really, really helped us during COVID. And I'm so blessed that my kids are like, my daughter is not as sociable as me. She's a pot plant. She is a pot plant. I have to force her to go out with her friends, although she's 17. She doesn't go out much. She goes out maybe twice a year to the movies or to Monty, and that's it. She enjoys anime. She enjoys drawing. She enjoys political science, philosophy, poetry, that type of thing. She has no conversation. She's got no ideals for the world that I live in, being social media, events, celebrities, putting myself out there, taking selfies. That is not her at all. She is the total opposite of me. She cannot discuss things if you are not talking about global warming, politics, poetry, philosophy. She will not entertain you. So she enjoyed the time. She really enjoyed the time. She also got accepted at the Yale pre-admission program. So she was busy with that for a couple of weeks. They had to do it. She was supposed to go to the US, to New York, to the Yale campus. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they converted it into an online course.
Okay.
So because it was an online course, the time zones and all of that really affected her a lot. So she was doing that course for a couple of weeks. I think it was a 3-week pre-admission course. And so it just happened in that time of the lockdown. So we were all just like busy with that and trying to, juggle that between her actual schoolwork, because she's in matric this year. So she also had the pressures of that. My son is very playful. He is very, very playful. So he's neither here or there. I don't know what it is with boys, but boys are like neither here or there. They just go with the flow. Nothing stresses them out. So yeah, my son's a lot easier than my daughter.
And obviously mommy's boy, because boys are closer to their moms. Like you said.
Like you will not believe. Oh my gosh. He is such a mommy's boy. He is such a mommy's boy. So, you know, like before when they used to say how Indian aunties are with their daughter, like, you know, if the daughter comes home late, where were you? Now I must wait here for you. Don't come home now. I'm going to finish you. I'm going to tell your father. What? But when a mom phones the son, hello, my son, where are you? You know, your mother can't sleep if you're not in the house, eh? I'm going to wait for you till you come. Your food is in the microwave. And I always thought to myself, I don't want to be that mother. And now I'm that mother.
That is like, that's the best part of parenting anyway, you know, is to keep tabs on your kids and just, I think it's the values that you instill in them as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, sometimes being a single parent is not always easy. And sometimes you do get it wrong. And sometimes my daughter will say, but you said yes the other day. Now you say no. And it's like, listen, yeah, I can't change my mind. Okay.
Yes, true.
Parent, yeah. It's like you had a lot of time. Like I've become wise now. You know how children, they will ask you something after thinking about it for a while. But then when they come to you, they want an answer like this. They just want you to answer immediately. So now I'm clever. I said, you know what? Can you give me a couple of days to think about it? And then I will answer you. Like, but why? It's either yes or no. I'm like, no, I know this is going to come bite me somehow. So give me a couple of days, then I will answer you. So I've really included that in my parenting style. I don't allow my children to corner me into things, you know. So if they ask me for something, as much as I would like to say yes, or as much as I think it's a simple question, you know, I will say, give me some time to think about it. And then I would allow myself that space, you know, and then I would, you know, engage with them, and then I'd make a decision about it. The hardest part about single parenting is that you don't have someone to bounce answers off. So you don't have someone to say, oh, Priyanka wants to go to a party with this 19-year-old boy. Do you think it's a good idea? She's very responsible, what. And then he gives his opinion, and then you have your opinion, and then you discuss it. When you're a single parent, this all goes on in your mind by yourself. It's like, you know, the one angel talking to the other angel type of vibes, you know? It all goes on in your mind.
Yes, I agree.
That you have with someone. So, and that has taught me that it's better that I take the time than just to give quick answers.
Yes, and it's difficult, you know, you're in the situation and you're cornered and you don't know what to say. That's the best advice ever, is to take your time, think about it, and think about how you're going to answer it. If it's going to be no as well, you have to substantiate your answer as to why you think it's no.
You have to.
Yes. Kids of today are very clever. You know, they know how to corner us, and at when they think it's the best moment, you know, when we're all in a good mood and stuff. I know all about it because I've been a single parent for years and years and years.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm so glad. So you know exactly what we go through. And you know, if you're not clever, they will walk all over you.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. So after 5 years of single parenting, I'm so woke now. I'll see you coming a mile away.
And you know, especially when they say, oh, but mom, you look the best today. Look how gorgeous you look today. It's okay. What do you want from me? You know,
yes. Spare me the compliments and the coffee. Like, can I make you a cup of coffee? You want something? Just tell me what you want so we can be done with it, you know? Yeah. So kids are so sneaky these days. But the thing is that it's such a journey with them. Like, you enjoy it so much. Like, I enjoy it so much. I really do enjoy. Like, people often ask me, like, how do you manage with 2 teenagers? And I was like, well, I don't exactly manage, but I take each day as it comes. That's all I can do, because their personalities are always changing. Their wants and their needs are always changing. And as they grow and learn to adapt, I also have to grow and learn to adapt with them. You know,
Yes.
They take me on this whole roller coaster journey with them, like my daughter becoming a teenager, then going through that terrible 15, 16 when we almost murdered each other, and and now she's calmed down. Now she's 17. Her brain cells came back, so now we're best friends for life again. And now I've got my...
She's gonna watch this, eh? She's gonna watch this, so you better be nice to her.
Yeah. No, she knows. She knows. We always joke about it. Like, I'll always be, remember that time you tried to kill me? She's like, don't start with me. You want a shovel to help you dig up the past. I'm like, no, I'm just saying. So now I'm going through all that again with my son. But now I'm clever because now I know what to expect. So it doesn't really take me by surprise, So it's now the whole mood swing stage and the boundaries and pushing boundaries and all of that. And so it's wonderful. It's such a blessing to have kids. It's such a blessing.
Absolutely. We just have to enjoy them because they grow up so quickly as well.
They grow up so fast. Like my daughter's going to go study next year. And I don't even know where the time has gone.
Sure.
I'm so happy for her, but at the same time, I'm so sad for myself,
Yes. Because you've got such a great bond. But Angel, let's talk about your career a little bit, being an advocate and I can hear the passion that you have in your job, in your day job.
Yes.
Take me through that, the entire journey, why that choice and, what you do just to help others there, especially young people, the youth out there that are thinking about a career and which path to follow. If you can maybe give them some advice as well.
So when I finished school, I actually always wanted to be an advocate. And, growing up as a beauty queen, winning Miss High School, Miss Grafton, Miss Eastern Cape, Miss that, everybody kind of like puts you in this box where it's like, you pretty, you going to get married to a wealthy man and you're going to have kids and whatever and stuff like that. And I just got so used to putting myself in that box as well. And I actually felt, okay, this is my life, I should just go with it. And that's what I did. I got married at a young age, and then I had my child and everything. And after I got married, and then I was like, okay, but I want to study law. I really do want to study law. It's always been something that I wanted to do. I'm going to do it. So I enrolled at UNISA. I got an age exemption. I don't know if they still exist, but I got an age exemption and I enrolled with UNISA and I started my LLB. I had a very tumultuous marriage, and it took me a long time to complete my degree, but I did it. And then soon thereafter, I was also doing my articles while I was busy with my degree, and I was working at the same time. So when I finally got my LLB, I was working at the presidency. I had a fantastic job. I was working at the union buildings. You work besides ministers, deputy ministers, DGs, everyone on first name basis, like, hey, Jay-Z and whatever. Or,
Hey, Jay-Z, that's the first name you mentioned. We're going to leave that for today.
And, you've got like Julius walking in the passages and Becky Quellen, whatever and stuff. So it was such a fantastic environment. It was fueled by so much ambition and electricity. When you walk in the union buildings, you can feel there's like a heartbeat. They call it the heartbeat. There's like a heartbeat that runs through that union buildings. And it's so vibrant, so full of energy, so full of life. People are just working hard, hard, hard. But unfortunately, I wasn't getting to do much legal work. And they have a very small legal team. They consist of 3 people. That's how small their legal team is. And I decided to then leave the presidency and then go and, apply for something else. I was fortunate enough to get something at the community scheme Ombud service. Now, what we do there is we do dispute resolution in community schemes. Community schemes are places such as townhouses, flats, estates, retirement villages, office park, or any shared area or any shared common area is called a community scheme. So any gated area, if there's a wall around it, it's a community scheme. So basically that. And so we deal with dispute resolution in that type of schemes. And it's been a phenomenal journey. Obviously, it was a bit challenging at first because I had absolutely no background in mediation, absolutely no background. I was dealing more with contract management, with legal training, small things like that at the presidency. So I came into this position and I had to teach myself. I did a lot of courses, attended a lot of seminars and things like that because I really wanted to excel. Like I always tell my kids, you cannot be at a job from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and not be good at it, because then you're doing something wrong. I spend more time at work than I spend with my kids. So if I am not the best at what I'm doing, I need to do something else.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
And so I just took it upon myself, and I just self-taught. I went to these training courses by myself. I took my annual leave or whatever. I'm a very proud person. I don't like to admit what I don't know. So I would rather just go educate myself. And that's what I did. And it turned out to be such, now I'm there for 6 years. And I'm thinking to myself, am I here for too long? Maybe I should leave. But okay, you can say I'm a bit in my comfort zone right now. But at the same time, it's just something that I enjoy. I add value. I make a difference in people's lives every single day. I mediate, I comfort, I make sure that people are happy at the end of our mediation. And for me, it speaks to the things that I hold dear to my heart, which is problem solving and helping others, and making people feel good about themselves. So I get a lot of job satisfaction from what I do as a conciliator. So so it's absolutely amazing. I do enjoy it. You're faced with a lot of issues. You get a lot of perspective and understanding. And that's what I love about people so much. The more people you meet, the more you realize that God made us all so different, that you appreciate and you value each other so much. There could never be another angel that has my background or my upbringing, that has my taste and this and that or whatever and stuff, and it's so wonderful to know that. And the more people that you meet, you kind of see where you fit in the world. There's supposed to be one of everything. There's supposed to be someone who's a master at this and skilled at that and good at that. And, you cannot be everything. You cannot aspire to be the expert in everything you do. And I think maybe it's age. Like last week, my friend and my best friend were sitting somewhere, and she was telling me how silly we were when we were younger. And we were like, why can't we buy age? There must be a way for us to go to the shop and buy age. Because the things that we did then, if we knew now, I think our lives would have been 100 times better. So I also think that it comes with age. You start accepting yourself for who you are. And you start saying, this is me, and I'm not perfect and I'm not skilled or whatever, but this is who I am. And I think I'm great. I think I'm making a contribution.
Yes, I agree with you totally. But I can see the love that you have for your job and the contentment. So well done on that. And I mean, there's great advice there, for anybody watching that wants to follow your career path as well. And like you said, you've got to have that passion for it because you spend your life at work and you've got to enjoy what you're doing.
Yes, most definitely. Also, Like, don't allow other people to box you in. If you want to do something, go and do it. Even if it takes you 10 years to do it. My LLB took me 6-7 years to complete, you know. But I finished. At the end, when you finish, you finish. Nobody's worried about your age when you finished.
Exactly.
You understand? Whether you finish 10 years
yes.
or whatever, nobody's worried about your age when you finish. Why are you so concerned how long it's going to take you? No, like lots of people will DM me and say, oh no, I'm 45 or whatever and stuff. Can I start my LLB? And it's like, why not? Why not? Even if it takes you 10 years, at 55, you're going to have your LLB.
Exactly.
So do it.
Yes.
However it takes, just do it. Don't limit yourselves. Also try not to confine yourselves to the norms of society or any labels that society gives you. You know, I think that was the first mistake that I made, is that I didn't put my foot down and say, no, I want to study law. I went with whatever people said about me, and, you know, I just carried on with that. And only later on, I decided to use my own brain to think and not someone else's brain. And then I said, no, I'm going to study law and I don't care, you know. And people never ever thought of me as an advocate. Like even now when I tell people I'm an advocate, they're like, what? You're an advocate? Like, yes. Maybe I don't look like
Okay, what does an advocate look like?
But what does an advocate look like? An advocate should look like me. If I'm an advocate should look like me. This is the look of an advocate.
Exactly. I agree.
You know? So what do you mean I don't look like an advocate? I'm supposed to look like, I don't know what. But anyway, I still get that every single time I tell people what I do. I get that all the time. And it's that stereotypical thinking that, you know, you can't be both. You can't be intelligent, successful, beautiful, a single mom, learned, you know, you can't do it all. And
you are a living example of that.
Exactly. And I'm living my best life. And the reason that and the reason, like, lots of people will DM me and be like, you know, how do you manage it? How do you do everything at once? And it's like, I don't know how to explain it, because every person has it inside of them to do it. It's just that you don't do it. I'm not special at all. I'm not special. I am just a typical woman who went out there and decided that this is it. I'm going to be living my dreams. I'm going to be doing this differently. I'm going to be setting up routines for my kids. I'm going to be studying part-time. I am just like, really, I'm nobody special. Anybody can do it.
Yes, I agree.
It doesn't take someone special.
Absolutely. And you haven't stopped. I mean, you completed your MBA degree and now you're doing your PhD. And that's the same path I followed. I've got an MBA degree.
Yes.
I'm now my DBA. So just take me through that. You know, who did you do your MBA to? Which institution?
I did my MBA with TUT in Pretoria. I was staying in Centurion at the time, so it only made sense for me to choose a university out there. And and I completed it. I completed it last year, but then we didn't graduate. There was some kind of hold up. And then this year we had virtual graduations, which totally sucked, because I'm sure you know MBA is not a walk in the park.
Absolutely. You know? But I'm sure they will have something going. You need to graduate properly.
So anyway, so now we had a virtual graduation, and it was so luster lacking, because you want to be with your, you know, with your group members and stuff like that when you graduate. And so but anyway, it was wonderful to know that I have achieved this. Especially like after my divorce and, you know, all of that. So it was also just a way of keeping my mind occupied and keeping me focused on, you know, an imperative goal that I've always had. And that was like completing my MBA. And then thereafter, I applied to UKZN to do my PhD, also to Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch has proved to be a bit more difficult because you have to get your own supervisor and things like that. UKZN, they're having a look at my proposal. In the new year, the committee will sit with all the proposals and they will then make a decision. I'm also looking at maybe doing my DBA, you know. Yeah, so going that route as well. So I'm basically looking at my options right now and seeing where is the better fit for me.
Okay.
I have a supervisor, and I've included that name to Stellenbosch now. So I'm just waiting for them to respond. At the moment, they're not taking, how can I say, any added responsibilities because of COVID and the strain on the universities and the no contact and whatever. So it's been such a challenge since I graduated in June. It's been such a challenge since June to actually, you know, do that whole registration process and get everybody on board. And I'm sure you know it. Do it, you know, like it's not just like you register for your PhD and you're in.
No,
there's
it's
a whole
yes,
it's a whole
yes,
yeah, it's a whole family that must gather and discuss, and one meeting, then it must go to this committee, then it goes to the next committee, then the head will finally approve it of that faculty, then they will want to meet with you and you. It's a whole...
It is a process, definitely.
It is a process.
But if you're considering the DBA, maybe look at Mancosa, because I'm with Mancosa for my DBA, and it's very structured, and I loved the entire course, you know, the way they structure the programs. And, you know, doing a PhD is a very lonely journey. And when you do it, well, you know, doing it through Mancosa has helped me so much in terms of just having this group dynamics and sessions. And for the last few sessions, we actually had it online on Zoom as well. But it was amazing because we did everything that we would do in a classroom. So maybe look at that. You know, I would recommend.
Yeah, I definitely will.
I would recommend the Mancosa DBA to anybody because, you know, I've had such joy from it. So I'm in the last leg of mine, hoping to submit next year and graduate. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you need any help, I'm here. You know, I can see you just started.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
So let me know because I'm also a lecturer at UNISA. So, you know, I can help you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Just like you, I do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I always tell, I don't know, like, you know, when I was doing my MBA, we would come across the PhD students or people that have already completed their PhD, and when they talk to us, their glasses come down.
Yes, I think it's with all the reading and the, you know, research.
And then, you know, I'd look at them and I'd be like, you see, you, one day I'm going to be you. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me funny now because I'm just doing my MBA. One day I'm going to be you. Then I'm also going to be like,
you know, glasses down here. You know, I have the glasses, and whenever I'm reading and my kids like come into the room and they want to chat to me, and I pull my glasses down because it's just like for reading because I want to see them. And they say, oh, there she goes again. There she goes again.
You know that look. You see, you PhD students, you know. It's, I don't know the trick. Do they teach it to you while you're doing your PhD or what? Like,
I don't know. You know, they also say, you know, the doctors have this doctor's handwriting. You must see my handwriting. It just changes automatically, just like that.
Yeah, because now you're like, okay, now you will guess what I wrote.
You can get to that point as well. But Angel, just going back to you, okay, we're digressing a lot here. You're a motivational speaker and you have a YouTube channel as well, where you give advice on fashion and legal advice. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I was bored during lockdown. And I was like, let me just start a YouTube channel. And, you know, that's when it all started because I've got a very good presence on social media. And, you know, so that is taken care of. But I wanted to put a bit more out there, more kind of legal, more serious issues, not just fashion, but also a lot of more tender issues and stuff like that. So then I thought to myself, I should do that on a YouTube channel. And yeah, so that's when the YouTube channel was born, and it's doing very well and it's continued to doing well. It's just me. I haven't been giving it a lot of attention. Now that we started to go back to work and I'm working from home, I was still trying to build up a routine for myself and the kids, with them going back to school on certain days. And obviously it was the matric exams and all of that. So it's really just from the 16th of December that I actually had a chance to breathe, because that was when my daughter finished her matric exams on the 15th. So since then, I've really had a chance to breathe. Before that, it was a whole lot of things. I moved from Centurion, I moved to Fourways. My daughter started writing her matric exams. My son went to school 3 days a week. She went to school 2 days a week. They were still schooling in Centurion, and I'd have to drive up and down, maybe sometimes 6 times a day, So it was just been so hectic. So I am going to do some content while I'm on leave now during these holidays. I am going to be doing some content. So please look out for that. It's going to be some amazing stuff. I'm also going to be talking about community schemes as well. And I think that's a topic that lots of people want to know more about. So I will be discussing that on my YouTube channel as well. And I think I'm going to save the YouTube channel for a lot of the more serious issues, on YouTube, and then concentrate on social media with the fun and the fashion and the bright lights.
Lovely, lovely. I wish you all the best. Talking about Centurion, I actually live in Centurion, and I think we bumped into each other at some point somewhere.
Okay.
Because you do look very familiar.
Okay. Where in Centurion do you stay?
I'm not going to say too much here, but we'll chat outside.
Okay.
But Angel, just domestic violence is very close to your heart. It's just a topic that you would like to talk about. So let's just touch on that a little bit.
So I was in a very abusive relationship for 12 years, and with my ex-husband. And I've learned so much during that time. And it's made me so sensitive to the world. It's made me so sensitive to myself, and I really haven't shared that experience with anyone until I got into Single Wives. And the reason why I didn't want to share it with people is because people tend to judge you, or they tend to say shame, or I'm sorry. And I didn't want to be that shame and sorry girl anymore. I was that girl for 12 years of my life, where people used to, feel sorry for me and be, oh, shame, poor girl. Or, yeah, no, they're very rich, but her husband beats her up. Or, yeah, no, she's doing very well at the presidency, but she's getting hammered at night. Things like that. And I knew those were the things that people were saying about me, And I didn't want to be known as that abused woman anymore. And it's so true when they say that the woman carries the shame of the abuse, not the man. It's always the woman that carries the shame. And it's always the woman, no matter how successful Angel can be, no matter what Angel is doing, people will always judge me on that one thing to make themselves feel better about their lives. And that is the reason I never, ever spoke about it since I got divorced. I never spoke about it to anybody. Only my friends from when I was married knew about what had happened to me. And that was it. Then I got into the Single Wives show. And part of the show is they take you through a journey of healing, transformation, restoration. And during that process, I was forced to open up, and I was forced to, relive some of my fears and some of the things that had happened to me during my marriage. And then that's how it just all came out. And that was like so upsetting to me. But at the same time, I think only when you open up that part of you can it be healed. All I did was I put it in a jar, and I closed the jar, and I put the jar in the cupboard, and I closed the cupboard door. And it sat there, and it sat there peacefully for all these years that it was there. But there was no healing involved. There was no transformation. There was no lightness of my heart. Yes, I lived this amazing life. I'm not going to say I was in tears every day because I wasn't. My life was still very amazing and all of that. But I did not deal with the matters of my heart. And I was supposed to do that. And that's where Single Wives SA comes in. And that opened up that door for me to deal with those issues. And that is when I dealt with it. And the response to that, I think everybody thinks I'm lying, quite honestly. I think they think I'm lying. They probably think I said it for good ratings for the show or something like that. You know, I do get a lot of women in my DMs asking me for help, asking me, how do I turn my life around? Or asking me for legal advice. I'm in the situation. What can I do? Where can I get a protection order from? Or I want to leave him. I want to divorce him. What is the next step? Or I'm not married. He's abusing me. What can I do? I get more DMs from women than I do from men, quite honestly.
That's good. You know, at least you have that voice now to help these women that
Yes.
are in desperate need of help. And that's where
Yes.
you come in, because you've experienced it. You have first-hand experience, and you have the legal background as well to help these women.
Yes. So that's what I do. Not only do that, I give them the advice from the experience that I have, but I give them the legal advice as well. So I will tell them, you know, like, this is what you're supposed, this is the situation you're in now. And it's a cycle and it's going to repeat. And when you are tired of the cycle, only you can break it. And when you are tired, this is what you should do. And these are the steps that you can put into place, you know. And obviously, lots of women, their main concern is losing their kids, you know, and always bring it up like, you know, how will I maintain my kids if I leave this man, because he's paying for the rent, you know, he's paying my car, he's paying school fees or whatever and things like that. And those are real issues. Those are issues I considered when I left. Those are real issues, you know, as women, like, you worried. You cannot just leave a man and there you go. Who's going to feed you and the kids, you know?
True.
So these are like the real issues that women face all over. And sometimes I get so upset when I hear, well, I'm not privy to a lot of people's backgrounds or whatever, but if I hear people talk about domestic violence and they talk about it so frivolously, and they say, oh, say no to domestic abuse, you should just leave him or what? No, you cannot do that. You cannot. Anyone who has been abused knows. Firstly, the first and foremost thing that keeps you in a domestic, in an abusive relationship is fear. You honestly feel that your partner is going to kill you. You feel you cannot escape. You feel that if you run away and he finds you, you are dead. Your kids are dead. Your family's dead. What. And that is the first thing that will keep you there. The second thing that will keep you there is your kids, because your partner will always threaten to take your kids away from you. They always say, if you leave me, I'm taking both the children. You'll never see them again. I will plant drugs in your car. I'll say that you are a terrible mother, or I'll get men to rape you or whatever and stuff like that. Or I'll go leave you far away, or always, right? That was my life for 12 years. Like, don't you dare escape. This is what I'm going to do to you if you try to escape, you know? And then the other part that you always like, okay, if I leave him, what am I going to do for money? How am I going to feed my children? Will we be able to afford the lifestyle that I have now? Probably not. But even if we stay in a 1-bedroom flat, will I be able to afford it? What if I leave the flat and I see him there and he chases me down the road? What if he comes to my workplace and I lose my job? It's a lot. It's a lot. And then you have, you know, people talking about it as if it's just another cat fight, or it's just like a dog chasing a cat down the road. And, you know, and sometimes it really, really breaks my heart, because having experienced that and having gone through that, I can feel what another woman goes through. I've got so many protection orders, because I used to sit in court and I used to sit next to women. And, you know, you start talking to them. And the one thing is that as an abused woman, when you start talking to another abused woman, your stories are so similar. It was as if you were all married to the same man.
Yes, you know, funny you say that. I actually heard that before. I heard that from someone before. It's like they're all stereotyped, it's the same person. But,
it's like somebody made the mold and then it was copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, one for you, one for you, one for you, one for you. That's
made
how
in
it
China.
is. Yes. So you come to learn that, the problems that you have or what you've experienced, experienced is 80%, 90% similar to what that woman has experienced sitting next to you in the domestic violence court.
Yes, but Angel, we can go on talking about this. We're running out of time, but I just want to.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Just take me through the show itself. What is the whole concept and what's it about? Just very briefly, just the show, and how did you get involved in that? Did you apply for it? Were you actually noticed or recognized and asked to get onto the show? So just take me through that journey.
Okay, so the show centers on 6 women that have been divorced that are trying to find love again. So and they take the woman through all the lessons in terms of dating again, learning to love again, learning to love yourself, putting yourself out there, conquering your fears, healing, transformation, restoration. And the 6 of you basically stay in a mansion for 6 weeks. And you get to know each other, and you go through this journey together, and you'll date different guys and things like that they bring onto the show. And then they'll tell you where you went wrong on your first date, where you went wrong on your second date, what are the parts of you that need healing, what are the parts of you that you still need to work on, and things like that. So it's basically, it's a wonderful, wonderful journey. And I was on that show for 6 weeks with 5 other women. And yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. It was one of those life-changing moments. Those moments that changes the complete course of your life and the direction. You thought that you were here, but you were actually like this, So it kind of like plays with your mind as well a lot. But it was phenomenal. It was such I would recommend, a woman to go on that show if you are divorced and if you are struggling. That is an excellent show. Really
okay, is. And it seems like you've learned so much. Did you start dating yet?
I did.
Okay, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's okay.
Yes.
So just going back to the show, where can one watch the show? Is it on Netflix or is it just on Mnet?
You there?
Yes.
Sorry, you just broke up for a minute.
Okay, where can one catch the show? Is it on Netflix or is it on Mnet? Just on Mnet?
No, it's on Mnet at the moment. It's on Showmax and it's on Catch Up. So it's still there. It ended I think it ended at the end of November. So it ran from September till the end of November.
Okay, so we can catch it on Showmax?
Yes, on Showmax and on Mnet Catch Up. It's still there.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to watch it, and I think everybody out there, they're going to be curious as to see what Angel got up to there. Guys, you're watching it. It's real. Yeah. It's Angel, her true self, sharing her story and her challenges throughout her life. So maybe catch up on that. Angel, your last words of advice to anybody watching there, or something of inspiration. I mean, we're on the doorstep of Christmas now. What would be your last words?
Okay. Basically, what I always tell people is that the blessing is in who you are. And like I said before, we are all created so uniquely, so different. We all have different passions, different hobbies. And if you just believe in yourself and who you are, you can accomplish amazing things in life. And lastly, guys, please be safe, observe protocol, wear a mask, wash your hands. I know the COVID always feels like such a far-fetched idea until it hits home. So you'd rather not be a statistic, rather be safe. Stay at home like me and watch Netflix.
Absolutely. I love that messaging, and especially COVID protocols. I think a lot of people are still not taking it very seriously until they have, lose loved ones, or even it affects their families. So please, we need to really take care of ourselves and the people around us that we care about. And
definitely.
Angel Patha, thank you so much for coming and chatting to me.
Thank you. Thank you for
chatting to
having
you.
me. Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun. I really enjoyed our conversation. Please, will you invite me again?
Absolutely. No, definitely we're going to have coffee together. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed the chat, and I know we're definitely going to actually get together at some point because we have so much in common. And let's share and let's see how we can actually work together to help the other women out there as well. We have
definitely.
And let's help the others. But take care, and we'll catch you soon. Bye.